Okay, whatever. Who cares? So we're gonna work on. It's gonna be a flow, right? Our normal vinyasa flow. We'll get into the standing sequence, probably, and it'll be a little bit longer than some of what we've done in the past, I think. But hopefully it feels good. And the focus today, or rather for this past week, has been in my classes working on some hip flexor strength. So our hip flexors are those pesky tight muscles at the front of our hips, right? And there are several of them, and they're inclusive of the quads, your muscles that connect your bottom half to your top half, going all the way around to your spine. And when you're sitting in this position, as we often do when we are working, when we're driving, they are shortened, but they're not under any load, which causes them to become weak. So there's this idea that we have to stretch our hip flexors. We have to stretch them, they're tight. And that's not wrong, but we also have to strengthen them so that they can continue to support our bodies. An example of that would be every time we flex our hip, we have to engage those muscles, inclusive of walking. Your gait requires you to step forward using that strength. So it's a long roundabout way of saying we're going to do just a little bit of engagement in our practice using our hip flexors. Hopefully it feels okay. We're going to also stretch them out a little bit too. So it should feel like a good, I don't know, yin and yang, I suppose, of stretch and strength. So that all said, let's get started on our backs this evening. Come down to your back on your mats. Get into a nice comfy position to begin. So I'm taking my legs out long, but for you, a comfy position today might mean feet together, knees out wide, or maybe feet to the mat, knees falling together if your low back is feeling tight or sore. And then arms can also rest anywhere that feels good by your sides, or maybe place one hand on your heart and one on your belly. Close down your eyes. And with your next exhale, press all of the air out. Breathe in through your nose. Exhale, let it go. Again, breathe in. Let it go. One more time. Exhale, soften your shoulders, let them melt. Soften your hips. And then allow your breath to return to its natural rhythm. Noticing if it's now a little slower, lengthening out your exhales. And every time you do, allowing something else to relax in your body. And start to draw your thoughts inward. Noticing how your body is feeling or showing up this evening. Maybe take a moment here to remind yourself of one thing you did today that you are proud of. And that could be just showing up this evening. There is a tendency to look back at the end of a day or the end of a year at all of the unchecked items on a to-do list, all of the expectations that were missed, all the things we still have yet to accomplish. And part of practicing gratitude, in my opinion, is reflecting on the things that we did do too. Practicing having pride in our accomplishments, which are not always as bright as they should be when it comes to looking at them in comparison to the full picture of things we wanted to do. So give yourself this one moment before we start moving to fill up with pride and self-love, knowing that what you have accomplished up until this point is just enough. Take another deep breath in. Let it go. Start to add small movements back into your body, turning those smaller movements into bigger movements. Take a big full body stretch, reach everything out long. And then gently bend your knees in towards your chest. Give yourself a nice squeeze. You can rock from side to side here. That feels good. Massaging your spine, your low back. Keep your right knee pulled in. Send your left leg out long. Think about squeezing your right knee towards your right armpit, keeping your foot active, and then keep your bottom leg active too. Flex through your left foot. Notice if your left hip rises up because your hip is quite tight. Maybe use your left hand to gently guide it back down. You can stay here if this is enough. If you want more, take your right hand to your right foot, finding half happy baby. Press your foot into your hand first. Find a little active engagement. And then after that, you can use your hand to squeeze your foot down, your knee down towards the mat or your outer ribs. Breathe in here. Breathe out. Take your left hand to your right knee. Guide your right knee across your body towards the left side. You can keep your shoulders heavy and just go until you feel a stretch through your outer right hip, your right side of your butt. You can keep your right foot flexed here to make your knee feel a little more comfortable if you're feeling any strain. Breathe deeply in. Exhale out. Come back through center. And just switch out your sides. Pull your left knee in. Send your right leg out long. Give it a nice big stretch. Notice if your right hip lifts up. See if you can gently press your right hip back into the earth. And then again, you can stay here. Squeeze your left knee towards your left armpit. Maybe slide your left hand up, finding half happy baby on the left side. Let your left knee fall towards your outer ribs, and then start again by pressing your foot into your hand. Find that active isometric engagement first, and that will help allow you deepen as you passively pull your foot down, bringing your knee closer to the mat. Another deep breath in. Exhale. Start to take your left knee across your body, using your right hand to guide it, just until you feel that sticking point where you're stretching through your outer left hip. Breathe in. Exhale. One more breath here. Stay for your breath out. Gently come back through center. Pull both of your knees in. Take a full happy baby if that feels good. Maybe play with straightening one leg and then the other, or rocking from side to side. Giving yourself one more moment to check in here. If there's any other movement on your back that would feel good, feel empowered to take it. Otherwise, you'll slide your hands into your warm little knee creases and rock and roll up to a seat. When you arrive in your seat, options here to either stack up your legs or to bring your shins parallel towards one another. So that could look like a fire log situation, bringing your shins parallel to the edge of your mat. Stack your top ankle on top of your bottom knee, bottom ankle. If that is too much, you'll just slide your top leg in front of your bottom leg. And then from there, hinge forward any amount. Again, just stretching out your outer hip here. Good. Take a full breath in here. Exhale it out. Another breath in. And out. Good. Come back up and switch your sides. And if at any point you notice that one side doesn't feel as good as the other, or if it's too much, you can always modify and back out. Same thing here. Just start to walk your hands forward. Keep your spine nice and long. Good. Breathe in. Breathe out. Start to walk your hands back in. And then you're going to roll over your knees onto your hands and knees, tabletop position. Stack your shoulders over your wrists, hips over your knees. The spine is nice and long by pulling the crown of your head forward. Breathe in deeply, and then round your spine to the ceiling. Drop your chin to your chest for cat pose. Inhale for cow, drop your belly, lift your heart. Exhale for cat, press the mat away. And then keep moving here on your own. Feel free to add any extra movement that feels good. Maybe circles with your hips or a wrist stretch. Got about 4, 5 breaths here to do your thing. Good. If you're doing any one-sided movements, start to balance out your sides. Then we're going to come back to a neutral spine. Keep your left knee bent to 90 degrees and your right knee stacked under your right hip. Start to squeeze your left hip up towards the ceiling. Think dog fire hydrant. And then release it back down. Yep, just like that. Good. Lift it up again. Squeeze it down. One more time. Lift, hold it here. Stay or start to straighten your left leg just to see how it feels, like you're karate chopping to the left. Good. Drop your left foot down. From here, you can start to shift your hips back towards your right heel. Maybe walk your hands out. Puppy pose through your upper back, stretching through your inner left thigh. Breathe in and out. Good. One more breath here. Exhale. Start to walk your hands back in. Keep your foot right where it is. Keep walking your hands in all the way till they come up to your hips. Stack your shoulders over your hips and then slide your left hand down your left leg. Reach your right arm overhead. Big stretch. Keep pressing your left foot down. Good. We're going to use our core to tip the other way. So drop your right hand to the right side, left arm overhead. Really nice. Come back up again using your core oblique muscles. Drop your hands back down. We're going to switch our sides. Bring your left knee back under left hip. Once you feel stable here, squeeze your right hip up out to the right. Drop it back down. Good. Lift up. Drop down. One more time. Squeeze up. Hold. Kick your right foot out. Straighten your leg any amount. Hold it here, really squeezing the outer hip. And then drop your right foot down to the mat. Walk your hands out and or shift your hips back any amount, whatever feels good on this side of your body. Keep the breath moving. Fully inhale. Empty out. Another breath in. And out. Good. Keep your legs as they are. Just walk your hands in all the way up to your hips. Take your right hand, slide it down your right leg. Reach your left arm overhead this time. Big, juicy stretch. Nice. Using your core, start to tip over. Other way, left hand comes down, right arm reaches overhead. Keep pressing your right foot down. Squeeze your right shoulder back. And then tip it back up. Squeeze through your outer core. Hands back down to the mat. Drop your right knee under your right hip. Option here to take a child's pose or cat-cow to level out your spine. And then tuck your toes, head into downward facing dog. Shift your hips up and back. In your down dog, you can move, pedaling it out. Maybe bend one knee, then the other. Shake your head, yes and no. And then take a moment to pause in stillness. Press into your knuckles. Think about keeping your ears between your biceps, creating space through your spine by sending your hips up and back. If your knees are bent, that's more than okay. If your knees are straight, think about pulling up on your kneecaps so you're engaging your quads. Take another breath here. And breath out. Look towards your hands. Come to your toes. Take tiny tiptoes to the front of your mat. When you arrive at the top, Bend your knees a lot or little. You can grab opposite elbows or keep your hands down and sway from side to side if that feels good. Maybe bend one knee a lot, straighten the other leg. If you have your grip up, switch it. If your hands are down, cool, keep them there. Shake your head yes, no. Maybe wiggle your tush. Feel space in your low back. And then release your hands down to the mat. Keep the soft bend in your knees. Round through your spine. Slowly roll up all the way to standing. Let your head be the very last thing that comes up. Oh, so nice. Good. Shrug your shoulders up and back. Press down into your feet a lot, so much that it feels like you're screwing your heels down into the earth. You might feel your kneecaps lift up. Keep that engagement. Reach your arms up overhead, big stretch. Take your right wrist outside of your right hand outside of your left wrist. Side body stretch over to the right. Press your left heel down as you reach your left hand towards the right edge of your mat. Come back through center and switch your sides. Wrap your left hand around your right wrist. Big side body stretch. Squeeze your right heel down. Think about lifting your right armpit. Good. Come back through center. As you exhale, fold forward, leading with your heart. You can soften your knees. Halfway lift. Find a nice long spine. You can bring your hands to your shins if that feels good. Maybe use that as a signal to lengthen your spine, pressing the crown of your head forward. As you exhale, fold down. Do that one more time. Halfway lift, breathe in. Exhale, fold down. Plant your hands, lift your left foot off the mat, step it behind you. Drop your left knee down, reach your arms up, finding your low lunge position. Good. This is an awesome stretch for your hip flexors. So think here about finding a slight pelvic tuck or posterior tuck. So like your Michael Jackson, yes. Squeeze your left glute so you feel more of a release through your left hip. Breathe here. Good, take one more breath in. And then plant your hands down to frame your right foot. Shift your hips back any amount, straighten-ish through your right leg. Half splits. Think about lifting through your chest as you squeeze your right heel back. Good, take one more breath. And then rebend your right knee, tuck your left toes, low runner's lunge, plant your hands down, step back to your high plank pose and hold it here. 3 full cycles of breath. If you need more support, drop your knees down, that's okay, but press the mat away with intention. After your next exhale, lower all the way down to your belly. Untuck your toes, low cobra, lift your chest up, breathe in. Exhale, release down. Twice more, lift up. Release down. One more time, inhale up. Exhale down. Plant your hands, knees up or down, high plank pose, press up. Downward facing dog is where we will meet. In your down dog, send your left leg into the air. Bend your knee, let your left heel get super, super heavy, like your knee is gonna point up towards the ceiling-ish. And then feel free to take circles with your ankle or your hip, your knee. Re-extend your left leg out long. Think about flexing your left toes down. Start to step it in between your left hand or your hands. If you need more than one step, feel free to take it. And then drop your right knee down, reach your arms up high, again, finding that low lunge position. Same thing here, slight tuck to the tail, and then squeeze through the left glute to feel more stretch through your right hip. Good, breathe in. Stay for your exhale. One more breath in. Hands down to frame your left foot, shift your hips back, half splits. Might be different on this side, that's okay. Think about keeping your hips stacked over your knee here, and then squeezing your left heel back. Full breath in, and out. Good. Rebend your left knee, tuck your right toes, and then step your right foot forward to meet the left into a fold. Halfway lift, breathe in. Exhale, fold down. Inhale, rise up all the way to standing. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Hover your right foot off the mat, step it back into a high crescent lunge. So use your core to lift up, keeping your right knee lifted off the ground. And then same thing here. You can take a gentle bend to your right knee, find that slight tuck to your tail, Michael Jackson, and then lift your chest. This time reach your right arm up overhead, really stretching through your right side. Good. One more breath in and out. Come back through center, reach both arms up. Plant your hands down to frame your left foot, step back, high plank pose. Now this time, after your third exhale, you have the choice to lower all the way down or halfway for chaturanga. For chaturanga, you'll keep the engagement through your core and just send your elbows straight back. So after your next exhale here, lower to your comfort zone. And then on your inhale, cobra or upward facing dog. Good. Downward facing dog is where we will meet. Take your time to arrive. When you arrive in your down dog, take a big breath in and out. Send your right leg into the air. Bend your knee. Let your knee point up towards the ceiling-ish. And then again, you can add any movement here that feels good. Focus on pressing evenly into your hands, which might feel like you're pressing a lot into your left hand. Re-extend your right leg out long. And then look between your hands, step your right foot forward, high crescent lunge, rise up, take your time. For more balance, you can wiggle your right foot over to the right edge of your mat and soften into your left knee a little bit, squeeze your left glute. Stay or take your right hand to your right hip, reach your left arm overhead, side body stretch to your left side. Nice. Come back up with both hands. Hands down to frame your right foot and step forward into your fold. Halfway lift, inhale. Exhale, fold down. Chair pose, bend your knees, sweep your arms up high, biceps by your ears. If that's too much for you today, no problem. Hands can come to heart center or just take a wider stance here. Either way is okay, but press into your feet. Imagine that there's an imaginary block between your thighs, unless you have a block, in which case feel free to grab it. And then engage your inner thighs. Breathe in, breathe out. Inhale, exhale. One more breath in. Forward fold, exhale. Halfway lift. Step back into a chaturanga or skip it, lowering down to your capacity. Upward facing dog or cobra as you breathe in. Downward facing dog as you exhale. Send your right leg into the air when you arrive. As you exhale, tap your right tricep with your knee. Re-extend, breathe in. Right knee to your left tricep. Again, this is all totally optional. Re-extend. And then step through into your high crescent lunge, returning to your lifted position. Take your time. Build in a little heat today. I have my heater on, so I feel like I'm faking it, but I'm also just naturally getting sweaty. Breathe in. Warrior two, as you exhale, spin your left heel down, bend your right knee. So your right toes are about in the middle of your mat, pointing forward. Back foot is parallel-ish to the back of your mat. And then you're thinking about stacking your shoulders over your hips, which might feel like you're zipping up the front of your body, engaging all those little ab muscles. Breathe here. Really press into your back foot a lot. Take one more breath in. And out. Flip your right palm, reverse, tip back, big stretch. Extended side angle. Bring your right forearm to your right thigh, send your left arm overhead, bicep by your ear. Keep the pressure in your back foot. Nice. Reverse, tip back, big stretch. Cartwheel your hands down. Take that vinyasa sequence or skip it. Step your right foot back to your plank pose. Lower as you exhale. Inhale, breathe and lift up. Downward facing dog. Take it back. Stay here for a full breath in and out. Send your left leg into the air. Left knee to your left tricep, shift forward. Inhale, extend. Exhale, left knee, right tricep. Extend. Step it through, high crescent lunge again, as many steps as you need. Find your power through your feet and then lift it up. Very nice. Good, full breath in. Warrior two, spin your right heel down, bend into your left knee. Beautiful. Think about squeezing from your right heel all the way through your right hip, right glutes. Keep pressing your left knee towards your left pinky toe. Now keep all of that as you tip back. Extended side angle, left forearm to your left thigh. Notice if your left knee started caving in, keep pressing it so it's tracking in the same direction as your longest toe. Good, reverse, tip it back. Cartwheel your hands down. Step back to your high plank pose and pause here. Breathe in. And then lower to whichever version you want to take, all the way, halfway, or not at all, meeting in downward facing dog. In your down dog, look towards your hands. Step or hop to a seat. So bring your feet, legs in front of you, out long. Good, I'll face you guys. So this is the part where we really get to turn on our hip flexor strength. Sitting up nice and tall, it actually might be easier if I face this way. Sitting up nice and tall, you're going to find an anterior tilt to your pelvis, which is the opposite of Michael Jackson. It's like, oof, club booty, yes. So you're gonna find that slight tilt that we always tell you not to do. Engage through your legs to make this more challenging. No hands on the floor to make it more doable, hands on the floor. And then you're just gonna lift one of your legs up, lift your left leg up, hover it there. Ooh, yes, notice if as soon as you did that, your back went, See if you can keep that little tilt and then lower down. Switch your sides, right leg up. Hold it there. Keep your chest lifted, yes. Lower back down. Do that 3 more times on each side. Lift up, lower down. Right side, squeeze up, lower down. Good, 2 more each side. These are so sneaky. They don't look like much. And then you start doing them and you're like, but why is this happening to me? Lower down. Good, 2 more total. Lift up, squeeze down. Last one. Nice, Bridget. Ooh, good. And release, give your legs a little shake. Give your arms a little shake. Cool, boat pose just for a few moments. We're not doing like serious core work, but this is another really good one for your hip flexors. So imagine that there is a pole along your back or a broomstick. Your chest is staying lifted. If you're noticing that this guy is happening, where you're curving your spine a lot, drop the heels down, lift the chest up. Breathe here for 3, 4, 2, and release the legs down. Give them another good shake. Well done, friends. That is it for, it's not really even core work, that was flexor work. So you're going to cross your ankles, roll over, meet me in downward facing dog, and we are gonna move it right along. That said, if at any point, I didn't mention this before, if at any point you need to take a break, please take a break. Child's pose is always there for you. Do what you need to do to honor your body. We're gonna move right into the standing sequence. So we're gonna keep moving. We'll hold some poses a little longer, of course. But as I mentioned, do your thing. And down dog, big breath in. And out. Send your right leg into the air. Now, if you want to bend your knee and go into some other kind of variation of this pose, very cool. Feel empowered to do that. Another option today might be to keep your right knee or right leg long and then just squeeze your right hip out. I'm gonna accidentally kick the wall here. Squeeze your right knee out just like we did at the start in tabletop, working that hip mobility. So whatever you're doing, take one more breath to finish it out. And then you're gonna step your right foot between your hands for low runner's lunge. Pause here, breathe. Pyramid pose, shorten your stance. Bring your left foot in a lot so both feet are down. You can take your hands to a prop if you need to bring the ground closer to you. You can also hover your hands off the mat. If you're stable here, maybe take your hands behind your back, interlace your fingers, work your knuckles overhead. Notice how that requires a little more engagement through your legs. One more breath here. If your hands are behind you, release them to frame your right foot. Standing splits, send your left leg into the air. Think about this effort coming from your left glute and your left hamstring, but at the same time, you're using your core strength to bring your torso down, working that flex position. Breathe. Low runner's lunge, step back. Drop your left knee down, reach your arms high, Anjaneyasana, inhale. Exhale, cactus your arms, lift your chest. Twice more like that, lift up. Exhale, squeeze down. One more time, lift up. Squeeze down. Lift up. Half splits returning again. So if you have a deeper expression of your splits, you're welcome to move into something else, going into full splits or somewhere in between. I'm gonna add a twist. You're welcome to join me there as well. Left hand stays down, reach your right arm high. Keep squeezing your right hip back as you're doing that. Very nice. Big breath in. Release your right hand back down. Anjaneyasana, return to your right bent knee, reach your arms high. Tuck your left toes, sweep your arms back, lift your left knee up, airplane lunge. Pause here. Feel the power through your right leg. Take your hands to heart center. One leg, rise up, press into your right foot, bring your left knee in towards your chest. Nice. Keep your left knee bent, squeeze your left hip out to the left side. Yeah, come back through center. Twice more, squeeze. Keep squeezing your right glute here for support too. Back through center. One more time. Center, and then cross your left ankle over your right thigh, moving into a figure four or funky chair. You're welcome to sink your hips a little lower here. And find your breath. If you need to add balance with the floor or a wall, you're welcome to take any option you need. Good. Start to release, rise back up, rebend your left knee in towards your chest, reach your arms high if that feels okay, and then step behind you, airplane lunge, returning, landing softly. Bring your left arm forward, bicep by your ear. Warrior two, still facing the front of your mat, open, right into reverse triangle. So straighten your right leg, take a little pressure out of your right glute, slide into triangle pose, bump your left hip towards your left heel, reach your right hand down. Hopefully this feels nice through your right leg. And breathe. Good, one more breath here. Stay for your exhale. Rebend your right knee, warrior two. Inhale, hands to the mat, low runner's lunge, frame your right foot. Right into easy twist, sweep your right arm high. You can stay here. You can roll to the outer edges of your feet for horizon pose. Keeping your feet flexed to protect your right knee here. Press your heels down. Big breath in. Hands to the mat, walk them all the way to the back, Skandasana. Bend your left knee so your left toes point towards the back left corner of your mat. Right toes can flex up, hands can stay down, or you can lift, maybe even lift your hips if that feels better for you. Wherever you are, really press into your feet for support. Nice, y'all. Take one more breath. And then walk your hands to between your legs, parallel your feet, wide-legged forward fold. Let your head and neck go. You can shake your head yes and no. You can walk your hands underneath you, maybe soften into your knees here a little bit. Take 3 or 4 breaths to either recenter or to challenge yourself, whatever you need in this moment. Maybe just a reminder that you've made it this far and you should be proud of that. Good. Start to walk your hands back out under your shoulders. Find a nice halfway lift. Exhale your hands to your hips and then rise up to star pose. Straight arms, straight legs. Front of your mat, warrior two, rebend your right knee. Flip your right palm over, reverse tip back. Side angle pose. This time maybe going deeper. Going deeper could mean sitting in your breath, using it to take this pose someplace else without really moving your body. You can also take your body somewhere else. So maybe right hand comes down or maybe half bind here. Can you find a stronger exhale, using that energy to press into your points of contact on the mat? Good, one more breath in. Nice bind, start to release, reverse reach back. Hands down to the mat, low runner's lunge. Now listen, keeping your feet where they are, just straighten your right leg any amount. And then rebend your right knee. And do that again, straighten any amount like a long pyramid, but with fewer rules. Good. We're gonna meet in a low runner's lunge and then a high crescent rising up. Good. Open twist, left arm forward, right arm goes back. Pause here. Squeeze your right hip back as you press your left hip forward. Good, come back through center. From here, warrior three. So it's a big transition, a lot of core work. You can sweep your arms behind you as you lift up. You can also take your hands to heart center, shift forward, then lift your left leg up. So arm position matters not to me today, but I do want you to work to finding that neutral pelvis. So squeeze your left heel in line with your left hip. Good, one leg Tadasana, rise back up. Now this is the big exciting finish here, right? So bring your left knee in just like it was before. We're gonna find the open twist, this time facing the other direction. So right arm forward, left arm back. You could stay here, this could be enough for you today. If you want more, using the strength of your quad and your hip flexor left side, straighten your left leg any amount, but you're not making that connection with your right hand to your leg. You're using the strength of your body to stay lifted here. Really squeeze your right glute, use your core strength, you've got this. Good. We're here for one more breath in. And come back through center. Forward fold, let it go. Halfway lift, inhale, wiggle the booty. Exhale, release. One more time, halfway lift. Exhale, plant your hands, step back, option to flow through a vinyasa or to skip it. Beautiful, meet in downward facing dog. And then look towards your hands. Step or hop outside of your wrist for Malasana Yogi Squat. Take your feet nice and wide, so much that your entire foot is pressing into the ground. Then you're using your outer hips to pull your knees open, using active strength rather than passively using your elbows to press open. It's a great stretch, but it's not going to help you build that mobility, which is strength to your end range of motion. Breathe here. You're welcome to stay here for several breaths. If you would like to move into crow pose or a different variation, you are so welcome to do that as well. Good. Good, Randy, keep looking forward. Yeah, cat back through your back. You got it, nice. All right, we're gonna meet back in downward facing dog and we're gonna take it to the other side. Hand down dog, take a big juicy inhale. Open mouth exhale. Send your left leg into the air, three-legged dog. You can bend your knee, stack your hip. If you took a variation before, go for it. Otherwise, maybe try to straighten your left leg and then squeeze it out to the left. Working to keep your hips level. And then come back in through center. Take another option there if you want to. And then we will meet back in three-legged dog. Step your left foot forward between your hands, low runner's lunge. Breathe in, pyramid pose, shorten your stance. Your feet will be on railroad tracks, so they're not in one straight line. And then again, if you tried it before, interlace your hands behind your back using your non-dominant grip. Notice how you have to press a lot into your left foot. Maybe your feet squeeze apart from one another. Good, one more breath here. And then release your hands to frame your left foot, standing split, send your right leg high. Notice if this side feels different. Can you keep pressing into your left foot without scrunching your left toes a lot? One more big inhale here, squeeze up. Low runner's lunge, drop your right foot down. Drop your right knee down, Anjaneyasana, sweep your arms high. Good, cactus your arms, lift your heart. Again, reach up, cactus and lift. One more time. Squeeze it down, really feel the bottom tips of your shoulders pull together. Nice, reach up, hands to frame your left foot, shift your hips back. If you've got your full splits or whatever splits, do your thing here. Otherwise, add the twist, right hand down, reach your left arm high. Keep pressing your left heel down, squeeze your left hip crease back. One more big inhale. Release your hand down if it's lifted. Rebend your left knee. Anjaneyasana, arms go high. Tuck your right toes. Airplane lunge, sweep your arms back. Hover your belly over your left thigh. Take your hands to heart center. Pause here. Keep the strength through your left foot. Think about floating up onto one leg, squeezing your right knee in towards your chest. Good. Squeeze your right knee out, keeping your right foot flexed. Come back in. 2 more times. Open and close. One more time. Rotate external, internal. Pause here. Funky chair or figure 4. Cross your right ankle over your left thigh. If this pose is no good for you, tree pose is always an option too. Really nice, y'all. Start to slowly make your way back up. Press into your left leg. Airplane lunge, step it back. Right arm forward, breathe in. Warrior 2, right into reverse triangle, straighten your left leg. Triangle pose, bump your hips back, slide your left hand forward, reach your right arm high. Good. Really press into the big toe mound of your left foot here. Think about elongating through your waist. One more breath in. Warrior 2, rebend your left knee. Reverse pivot back. Low runner's lunge, cartwheel down. Good, easy twist, sweep your left arm high. You can stay here or roll to your horizon pose. If you're still in easy twist, keyword to keep your right hip lifted. If you're in horizon, press both edges of your feet down. Skandasana to the back, plant both hands to the mat, walk them all the way to your right side, bend your right foot, and then, bend your right foot, bend your right knee, and this side might be completely different, so honor where you are here. See if you can lift your chest, maybe even lift your gaze. Good. One more inhale. Hands to the mat, wide-legged forward fold, parallel your feet. Second time here. So if you have any inversions in your practice and you want to go upside down, you're welcome to. Otherwise, opportunity for active recovery or to take a deeper fold. Use this time to check back in if you had checked out. We're almost there. So can you work to stay present for these final moments? Good. Start to make your way out of your variation. Find your halfway lift. This time, bring your hands out to a T shape, out wide like wings. Rise up using your core and your hamstrings. Warrior two to the front. Angle your left toes forward. Reverse, breathe in. Side angle left forearm to your left thigh. Reach your right arm overhead. We're here for several breaths, so take this time to turn up the level of this pose, whatever that means to you. Inhale to find more space in your upper body. Exhale, more energy through your feet, your core. Good, one more breath in. Exhale to begin to release your variations. Warrior two, lift up. Hands to the mat, low runner's lunge. Keeping your feet where they are, just straighten your left leg any amount. Rebend your left knee. Twice more like that, unless it feels good that you want it more. Just bend and straighten a few times here. And then we will meet in low runner's lunge. Engage through your left foot to rise up, high crescent. Open twist, right arm forward, left arm back. Pause, really feel the stretch to the front of your right side. Keep drawing your left hip crease back, maybe gaze over your left thumb. Good, come back through center. Moving into warrior three, option two, airplane arms or hands to heart center. Use the strength of your left leg, your core to lift up, bringing your body parallel-ish towards the earth. You can soften your left knee any amount. Good. Keep pressing into your left knee, one leg Tadasana. This is it on this side, y'all. Bring your right knee towards 90-ish degrees. Squeeze your left glute down, or your left glute and your heel down, and then add the open twist. Stay, or straighten your right leg any amount. Really flex through your right foot. Think about drawing your kneecap back to engage your quad more. Good. Two more full breath in and out. One more inhale. Stay for your exhale. Come back through center and fold, let it go. Bring your feet hips width apart or more. Hands to your elbows if that feels okay. Shake your head yes and no. Wiggle it out. Good. Release your hands down. Find your halfway lift. Option to take one final vinyasa if you would like to here. And we will slow it down. So meet me back in downward facing dog. Good. In your down dog, send your right leg into the air. Moving into half pigeon on the right side. Bring your right shin forward. Now, if this pose is not good in your body, we'll take a figure four stretch on the back instead. If you're in half pigeon, start by pressing your right shin down, squeeze your right hip crease back. Notice how it feels through the front of your left hip. And then you can fold forward, taking this into a juicy place. If you're on your back, keep your right knee, your right foot flexed over your ankle, or over your thigh rather, sorry. And you can pull your legs in if that feels better. Breathe here. Use this time to start to slow down your breath, to start to tap into your parasympathetic nervous system, to congratulate yourself on moving through a challenging practice, coming out the other side and being able to tap back into your breath. When you feel ready, go ahead and just switch your sides. If you are in half pigeon, you can press yourself up with your hands. You're welcome to pass back through down dog, maybe add some counter movement or pedal your feet out. And then switch sides, bring your left shin forward, let your right leg go out long. You might have to wiggle your right foot back or your right knee back. And then same thing here, stay lifted first, really squeeze your left hip crease back, pressing your left shin down. Find that little active engagement and then allow yourself to surrender forward. You might notice the places you are still holding onto tension. See if you can soften them, like your jaw, your throat. And then gently, when you feel ready on this side, we'll make our way to a seat. You can move back through downward facing dog to balance out any counter movement, or just roll to your left hip, bring your right leg forward, bring the soles of your feet together, knees out wide for Baddha Konasana A. Lift your chest up, think about pressing your tail down, and then hinge forward any amount. With every breath in, allow the rise of your body to lift. And with your exhale, sink down. Another breath in. Last breath out. Good. Lift back up. Use your hands to close your knees. Send your legs in front of you. Give them a shake. They have worked so hard. And you can soften your knees. Reach your arms overhead. Take the forward folds. Same thing here. Think about rooting your tail down so you're lengthening through your back body, your low back. And allow your body to rise naturally with the breath. And settle back down with the exhale. One more full breath in. Slow breath out. Gently walk yourself up. Option here, rather than a traditional back bend to close out the more active-ish piece of this practice, I'm gonna offer reverse tabletop today. I'm hoping that you're feeling pretty good in your body to do it, but if you already know, like you have shoulder injury or anything like that, just take a bridge pose instead, coming all the way down to your back. For a reverse tabletop, you'll set up your feet just like bridge pose, feet to the mat, knees point up to the ceiling. All 10 toes point forward and your knees track over that same direction. Plant your hands behind you about 6 inches. Lift your heart first. So engage through your low belly, pull your shoulders down and back, and then think about pressing into your knuckles and your feet. Squeeze your glutes, lift up. You might realize that your feet are a little too close or too far. You can always come back down and reset here. Really squeeze through your glutes. If it's a lot on your neck, you can keep your chin tucked. Press into your knuckles so all your weight is not in your wrists. You're here for 3, 2, and release it down. Beautiful. Reach your arms forward, legs go long, roll all the way down to your back. We will take a spinal twist followed by happy baby to close out our practice. So for the twist, bring your knees all the way into your chest. Roll over to either side. I'm rolling to my left, but if that's frustrating to see me, that's okay. Roll to a different side. Bring your left arm out in front of you, so it's all the way on the mat, and then stack your right arm on top of the left. And then like a book, keeping your legs where they are, if that's comfortable, just open your right arm all the way to your capacity. This is just helping get into a deeper thoracic upper spine twist. Allow your shoulders to get heavy. If this is too much, you can reduce the range of motion by lifting your knees off the mat, more towards the midline of your mat. Big breath in. And slow breath out. And one more like that. Inhale. Let it go. You can stay longer if this is feeling really good. Otherwise, move to your other side. Roll back through center. Roll all the way over to your right. Shoulder touches down, knees touch down. And then right arm goes long in front of you. Stack your left arm on top like a mama shark, baby shark situation. And then open up your left arm like a book. Maybe your gaze follows your left hand. If that's too much, back out. Two big breaths here. One more inhale. Exhale. Again, you can stay longer if this is really good for you. Otherwise, come back through center. Realign your spine if you need to and find your happy baby pose. Last pose that I'm cueing for this evening. Reaching up for your feet. Notice how your hips feel now. Your hamstrings, your feet even. Maybe give them an extra squeeze. They don't get enough love and recognition for all of the support they give us. And if there's any other movement that your body needs, please take it. Otherwise, head into Shavasana. It's going to be a short, sweet 1-minute Shavasana to close out. But of course, you're always welcome to stay longer if you're able to. However, since we are here virtually, I will just give you the 1 minute to lead you into rest. So go ahead and find a comfy position unless you are still stretching. Let your arms and legs go out long. And take a big, full, deep breath in. Let it go. Allow everything to settle, to soften. As thoughts come and go, allow them to pass without attaching meaning or judgment to them. Just simply observing their nature, allowing them to drift off. If you find that you cannot resist attachment, instead, you might find a count to your breath to keep you anchored. You are more than welcome to stay here longer. 1 minute is certainly not enough time to truly absorb the benefits of this practice through rest at the end. So you are welcome to stay. Otherwise, feel free to add movements and begin to lift yourself up on your time. Maybe another big stretch if that feels good. If you are moving again, find your way to a seat. If you're resting, stay right where you are. Allow your eyes to soften or close if they have opened. Take your hands to heart center. One more big breath in. And out. It was an honor to spend time with you this evening and to share this practice. The light in me honors and sees the light in you. Please go in peace and in ease of breath. Namaste. Thank you all so much for joining. If you're still resting, please stay where you are. I will eventually stop talking and leave you to it. Otherwise, if y'all have any feedback, you know where to find me. Let me know. Have a good rest of your evening. And if you're celebrating anything this week, enjoy your celebration. Thanks, y'all.
Thanks so much.
For sure. Love y'all. Bye, Jeff and Jill. Enjoy your rest. Love you.